entertain a motion to open the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
So now we'll begin with public forum. If anybody who's not a member of the Senate would like to address the Senate right now, they're allowed to for open forum. Is anybody present to speak for open forum? Okay, so now we'll move on to committee reports. Speaker report. I don't really have anything. We are filming the meeting, as discussed previously. So you're all aware of that camera right there. You guys are all in focus, so just everything you say will be recorded and able to be referenced at a later date. So just be aware of that.
Is it going to be aired?
Clarification? Is this
It'll be on YouTube.
be on YouTube? Hopefully you guys don't move through the paces of Robert's rules that everyone's going to know. But, all right. So I don't have any other report. There's some stuff up from my committee that I'll talk about later. That's really it. Otherwise, golf outing, I have invitations here for you guys to take after the meeting to give to your faculty members. We're not at our goal yet for faculty participation. We're looking for 20. We're at about 8. So please take some invitations, give them out. That's really all. So now we'll move on to cabinet reports. Ashley's not present, but I think Mark's going to be giving a president report.
Yeah, so she apologizes for missing the meeting. She has some important dates coming up, so something to keep in mind. The nominations for freshman Senate seats open this Tuesday, so no freshmen, tell them about that. But the presidential nomination period is right after the elections for freshmen, so it's about 3 weeks away. You guys keep that in mind if any of you are thinking about running. The RSO Summit is October 15th at 11 a.m. Or sorry, October 5th at 11 a.m. Maybe on Saturday this year. And also keep in mind, fill out accountability forms after you attend events. Everyone should be making their best effort to attend a few each week from different RSOs. Fill out those accountability forms, which is kind of like another job we have. You guys all have as senators. The last thing, a little last minute, but the honor board asked us to do a meet and greet with them for the freshmen tomorrow night at 8 p.m. in Babbio Atrium. 8 p.m. in Babbio Atrium. So yeah, it's last minute, late notice, but if everyone could go, show, wear your SGA polos, white or red. Ashley will send a reminder email about that tomorrow. So all those things.
So we'll now move to vice president report. If you have anything extra to add.
Tech Fest, this is Friday and Saturday. Hope you guys all attend. Hope everyone's as excited as I am. Otherwise,
We'll now move to chairperson of the Committee on Student Interests.
Like Mark said, our SO Summit is on October 5th and 11th, so I just want to post that it's important to be there.
Treasurer report.
Hey guys, I hope you all reviewed the docket. We have 4 additional funding requests and a rollover request today. There's also one that didn't make the docket. It's the ASEM Mid-Career Workshop. I'll be sending that out to you guys, and if you want to entertain it, something can bring it up. That's it for me.
And secretary report.
All right, so we have 2 elections tonight. Andrew Bean could not make it today, but Kel's going to give us a dramatic reading of his speech. And for the new senators, if you're not part of the Oregon State portal for SGA, please join that so that you can be put on as participating in the meeting tonight.
All right, we'll now move to committee reports. Academic affairs. Nothing really new to add. 2 of the additional funding requests are from my committee, and because we're the Student Faculty Alliance functioning as a subcommittee, we still put in our additional funding requests, and it's all documented. So I would like that we vote on this money that I request for the organization rather than it just gets spent as a committee budget, just because we are a separate organization, so I want to keep it clean in that respect. So that's really all. And also still, I'm going to say it again, golf outing, invite faculty. Definitely a lot more people who want to come. October 2nd is the general faculty meeting, so that's right, it's like a week before the golf outing, so I'll be there, really haggling faculty to come, so just if you guys want to come, they're open to the public if you want to go and sit in on them. All right, accountability.
So I made flyers. They have QR codes on them, and I'm going to put them up around campus. If anyone wants to help me, I made about like 100, so they'll just stay up around campus. They have QR codes on them, people can just scan and go right to the accountability form. So that's it. I updated it a little bit so you can tell them whether you're like part of the RSO or not. That's really it.
So now we'll move to campus life.
We're gonna have a meeting this week, either Wednesday or Thursday night. I'm not sure what's best, because I know that you're trying to have a meeting this week for voting. I don't know what day it is yet, so I'll let everyone know. Yeah, I need 2 weeks. Yes. I'll send out an email like tomorrow, let everyone know who it is.
So we'll now move to constitution and bylaws.
Okay, sorry. Hi. So we just had a meeting outside, before this, and this time seems to work, and we were talking with, EC about their bylaws and everything like that, especially because they are part of their date of us as defined by our bylaws. So we're looking to maybe draft something up to change to our bylaws this week, maybe up for the docket next week. And we're gonna meet with them again next week at 6:30. If you are on the committee, please come, just outside there on Sunday. And we'll see if we're gonna keep going through their guidelines and stuff, and bylaws as well, so.
All right, we'll now move to public relations. Anthony is not present.
I can speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, today's the second week, or this week is the second week that the article has gone out in the Stute. We're writing, articles that review every meeting that we have. We're gonna keep that going, it's going good. And, also, as you can see, we're being filmed. We were in contact with, SITTV and Tyler. And, yeah, we really just wanna get publicity out for SGA and show what's going on during our meetings.
All right, we'll now move to speaker committee. They're not present. Kel's report at all? Anything?
So, if Jess has a report, she'll.
All right. And then tailgate.
There's a tailgate on Wednesday at 6 p.m. for the women's soccer and for the field hockey game and women's soccer. And yeah, that's it. I'm not sure.
All right, we'll now move to committee on student interest subcommittee reports. Ethics student council.
The Ethics Student Council had a meeting last week, and everything seems to be about the same about the clubs, and the only thing that's new, it's they're making a newsletter, which will appear with all the club meetings and all the events that will happen around time, so yeah, that should be up soon.
Professional societies council. Or media board.
We're having a meeting Thursday at 9 o'clock in 208B in the library.
Special interest committee.
We're still setting up our first meeting.
Club sports council.
No report.
Arts and music.
We had our meeting on Wednesday at 1, and I sent the minutes to Cal.
Recreation.
Yeah, still working on the first meeting, probably gonna be sometime next week.
All right. We'll now move to old business. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from September 8th, 2013.
Second.
Here are the minutes. If anybody has any questions about them, go right through it.
Move previous motion.
Second.
All those in favor of moving to previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We'll now move to previous question. All those in favor of approving the minutes for the September 8th meeting as they stand, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. So now we'll move on to new business. That's all of it right there. So I'll entertain a motion for any of these.
Motion to like KLSC.
Right, so, here's what we're gonna do, Mike. You come up, you're gonna give your speech, and you're gonna stop the room, and then we'll vote.
Actually, I was gonna give a speech also.
Are you okay with that?
No, it's not.
All right, that's fine, yeah, all right. So yeah, that's it, just come to the front, you can say whatever you want, and then, we'll vote.
Alright, hello everyone, my name is Michael Cahill. I'm a Florida chemical engineering major, and I'd like to be a senator because I saw the opening for the position, I saw the vacancy, and the need to fill it, and I think that I'd be a great person to fill that role because I am involved across campus in student organizations, not only as a member but also e-board positions, and also I can work for Res Life, so I'm able to represent the needs of the university, which, if you look in the Constitution, is what is asked of senators to represent the needs of everyone at the university, not just the students. That's pretty much all I have.
All right, we'll now move to questions. If anybody has any questions, just raise your hand. All right, then if you could just step out of the room.
Thanks.
Leah. Chuck, you got paper?
Yep.
You guys should. All right, you can stand up in the room. Chuck, do you want to do the others?
I can't find it.
Congratulations. Thanks, everyone. All right, so we'll continue now on new business.
Motion to elect Andrew Bean as senior senator.
Second.
So, the way we're going to handle this one is because Andrew could not be present due to medical appointments. Kel will be reading his speech and absentee email to give you guys a rundown of what's happening, and then we'll vote on it. So, you have the floor, Kel.
All right, just pretend that I'm Andrew Bean. I would like the opportunity to be an SGA senator for the senior class because I believe I bring a unique perspective to Stevens and the SGA Senate. As an NYU dual degree student, 3 years at NYU, 2 years at Stevens, I come from an environment very different from Stevens and an academic atmosphere with extreme diversity. I feel that my past experiences could really help bring a new view to the Senate and can work to best represent my senior class. As a student at Stevens, I am a member of Sigma Phi Epsilon and Tau Beta Pi Honor Society, both of which can point to my dedication. I am also an active member of IEEE and a member of the Golf Club. I want to learn more about the various RSOs we have on campus and best represent the students. Also, as part of being on SGA, I am eager to get involved with the committees, especially the Campus Life Committee, because I see so much that this school has to offer. I would greatly relish the opportunity to become a senator of the SGA and help make Stevens an even better place than it already is. Again, I am very sorry about missing this first meeting. It was an unexpected occurrence, and I can promise that I will be at every other meeting moving forward. Please call if you have any questions, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Senate.
All right. Andrew Bean. That's the way we're. All right. So now we'll move on to the rest of new business. I'll entertain motions for any of the items on the agenda. Does anybody have a budget they want to go to first?
Motion to approve the hand of proposed additional funding request.
Second. All right. So we'll have a discussion.
Why is that better?
I'm just gonna pull it up. So this is actually tomorrow. But it's for all of them, but the first one's tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. All right. Well, we're in discussion, so if anybody would like to bring up any points, right, fine.
So wait, Hangout 1 isn't the one that's tomorrow, right?
Hangout 1 is the one that's tomorrow.
It is the one that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with this, just so you guys know.
All right. Any more? Anybody else with discuss?
Correct me if I'm wrong, the first one's open to seniors, the second one's open to freshmen, and the third one's open to anyone?
It'll be the second one. It'll be open to all students. And
Okay.
the third one will be freshmen.
Okay.
So, you guys, I'll speak a little bit about it just because it is my committee. So, the way these events work is that the provost invites a number of students over to his house to have dinner and just talk about whatever type of concerns they have academically at the school. So, he'll talk about curriculums, departments, programs, research opportunities, things like that, academic policies on the campus that students want to discuss. This particular year, instead of doing 3 general open ones, he wanted to kind of target populations of the school to get a better feel for where they're at. Specifically, the first one, seniors, hoping that they'll have things to say. The last one, freshmen, because the school's taking a really big initiative for freshman retention, and he feels that following first semester, he can get some pretty candid responses out of the students. Whatever you guys approve, you don't have to approve it all, you don't have to approve it at all, or any of it if you want, it's up to you guys. The provost will pick up the rest because he wants to have this event anyway. It's just because we are a committee and we are an organization on campus, I like to put in the request for the money because these are open to the students. And we did hold our first event this year, which was the meet and greet, which is normally funded by the SGA, but this year we just paid for it with the provost because we didn't have a meeting early enough for me to bring it up for. So now we'll move back to discussion. Kristen?
I just wanted to remind you guys that the first budgeting rule is that any event funded by the SGA must be open to all undergraduate students.
Matt?
So correct me if I'm wrong, but 1 and 3 are not open to all.
Well, 2 of the 3.
Right, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about 1 and 3.
So kind of motion to strike event 1 and 3.
Second.
All right, so we'll now move to discussion on that motion.
Second.
All those in favor of moving for discussion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All right, so all those in favor of striking 2 of the 3 line items from the budget, please say aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor, say nay. All right, so we'll now move back to discussion on the budget as it stands with only 1 line item. Matt?
Let's see why we would recommend for discussion.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of moving the previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All right, so all those in favor of approving the budget as it stands with only 1 line item for $150, please say aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor, say nay. Okay, good, so that one's over. Danielle?
Owen, can we know how much is in the SAF?
Yeah, so it's about 75,000
Okay, thank you.
based on the allocation we made 2 meetings ago.
Thank you.
So, Matt?
Motion to approve the ESW conference, part 1, I guess.
Second.
I'll just pull it up. Okay, they are numbered. So here's part 1. Bring it up for you guys real quick. Here, I'll leave it. So I'm just going to pull down to the form, the information, so you guys can kind of read all that. So we're now in discussion on this motion. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say?
It's within guideline, so motion to move for discussion.
Second.
All those in favor of moving the previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right, so all those in favor of approving the first half of the ESW Regional Conference budget request, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So the first half is now approved. Just get rid of that.
Motion to approve the part 2.
Second.
Okay. Discussion. So here's part 2. Scroll down a little bit. See it all. This is really everything you need to see. Discussion, Tyler.
So like I looked on the RPI regional conference website, and it says that the cost of tickets is $40 for a student. Is there a reason why they're paying the professional member price?
Any other any clarification from the cabinet?
Professional society.
No, but like a professional member is like if you're not
Yeah.
a student anymore.
We have a representative from the club.
Yeah, so I just like to say my name is DJ and I'm the president of ESW. I saw my treasurer here, Elena. We inquired about the fees for registration. That $40 they came up with a rough estimate. They kind of put on the website to entice people to register. We kind of did this as a 2-part registration just because we wanted to make sure that we were defining as much as we can and as clearly as we could to the Senate, kind of what's going on, what we're planning on doing. Unfortunately, there's also going to be a lot of fees that would be extra. They have conferences that are scheduled, which will be covered by the fee. There are activities and else that's going on, which may have to be extra, like we're told. We may have to have check requests for, that kind of thing. So So in terms of the conference and fees, we wanted to entail all we could possibly potentially be encountering, just to minimize what we as students would need to fundraise for and potentially pay ourselves. But again, that 40 that you can see on the website is an estimate. The only reason we came up with that 75 is that's our estimate, but based off of inquiring further with the RPI president and also their advisors who are organizing the whole conference. It's a 3-day weekend, and a lot of it's affiliated with the club, but also with the school, and also activities within the town. It's kind of a multifaceted thing, so we just want to anticipate that we could potentially pay for enough to get 15 members of our organization to come.
Okay.
So what are you estimating for the cost outside of what the ESW's registration site says?
So we were basically, if the $40 was the true cost, or we would have the extra money for additional fees within the conference. And we'd have to, I guess if registration is that, then we would give that money back. But we're anticipating that the conference fee is more once we get there.
Oh, okay,
That's
so.
what I'm trying to say. So they're planning on having all these other activities which would then boost the price of the fee.
Okay.
So if it's 40, we're gonna pay 40, we're not gonna pay more. We're anticipating it costing up to $75 per student.
Okay, so it's for extra workshops at the conference.
Right, like
Okay.
there's a solar panel workshop, and they have to pay the company to come in to rep the panels and that kind of thing, and activities within the community which could potentially cost more.
Okay.
So, continue that discussion.
Yeah, I mean, it's still under budget. It's $10 per student more that they can get, so I don't think they're like just trying to get money, because if they were, they would be asking for the full $85. So let's move to this question. Second.
All those in favor of moving the previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All those in favor of approving the second half of the ESW Regional Conference budget request, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So it's approved. So we'll now move to any other motions on the table. So there are 2 left. Anyone-
Motion to approve the ethics board additional funding.
Second. Okay. So here's the budget. Right there. Scroll down, get kind of real for. There it is. We're in discussion now on the motion. Does anybody have anything to say? Questions? Devon?
Alright, so, I'm not totally sure what we've asked for in years past with the ethics bowl, but the reason why we're asking for this, that in the past, ethics bowl typically had about 4 to 5 organizations competing in it, and there would be refreshments at that event, and I know for a fact that it was, much less than $3,000 for those events. However, this year we're planning to have 16 teams competing in the ethics bowl, so there'll be a lot more people in attendance. And so we want to do the same thing with refreshments. Those just have to be larger in scale because of the amount of people that will be participating in it.
Any other discussion?
Just for clarification, how does it's open to all students, not only members here in Triangle?
Right. Yeah. So the participating teams is everyone on campus, and everyone can come and watch the ethics bowl take place. So the refreshments are also open for everyone, not just those competing.
Any other discussion? Sarah?
What kind of food are you planning to get? Because for refreshments and like snacks, $3,000 seems excessive for 2 days.
Right. So during the preliminary rounds, the refreshments are normally like water, cookies, and things of that nature. Then at the end, for the finals, we have like an actual sort of like banquet style thing that we do for everyone who's there for that, and the teams that competed in the finals, where it's like actual food, like only hot dogs and those cool little things, all that jazz.
Any other discussion, Matt?
Thank you. This one, because Sean asked me before, to pull up last year's. So Ethics Bowl last year was granted $3,628.75. I don't know if you guys remember last year, they did like big dinner reception, so I think that's where most of that money went to. That is where most of that money went to, $2,500. So it actually was more expensive last year.
Tyler?
I'd just like to ask for a quick clarification on budgeting guidelines. So this would count as like one of the 2 events that were, because it says on number 10, it's like limit the total number of funded events that are in excess of 10 times the SAF 2. So this would count as one of those events?
Yes.
Any other questions, discussion items? Matt?
What have we given them so far this semester?
So while he's pulling it up, any other discussion points? Anything else to say?
Did last year's ethics bowl like have enough interest where you think you'd be able to fill all 16 teams you're planning for?
Last year it had 6 teams competing in it. However, I'm of the opinion that it wasn't advertised very well at all because a lot of the campus did not know that ethics bowl was a thing that was happening. So we're doing a much better job of that this time in order to get 16 teams competing in it. So that.
Go back to Owen.
Just to clarify with Devon, this isn't an additional funding request, like adding 3,000 on to what you guys already have?
Yeah.
All right, so allotted so far they have $101.25, and that's for the same event. And they have something else for Club Fair, which was $100.
Wait,
That's for the same event. That's also for Ethics Bowl. So this is an additional funding request. They're asking for more money for the Ethics Bowl. I might have messed that up before. Made it not clear.
Any other senators? Devon?
Right, yeah, so to clarify that, that budget was submitted by the last E-board, who assumed that it was going to be the same sort of scale of ethics bowl with the four to six teams. So that's why we're asking for 3,000 on top of it, is so that we can compensate for having 12 to 16 teams instead.
Continue discussion. Matt?
Move the previous question.
All those in favor of moving the previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. That's the previous question. All those in favor of approving the Ethics Bowl 2013 additional funding request, please say aye.
Aye.
All those not in favor, all those opposed, say nay. No one. It's passed. So, Matt?
Motion to approve the SFSD additional funding.
So we'll have a discussion. Discussion on the budget as it stands. Anybody have anything?
Looks good. Move the previous question.
Second.
All those in favor of moving the previous question, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All those in favor of approving the budget for the student faculty speed mingle, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Budget passes.
Roll over the bills. Unless you have it on.
Okay, so was it supposed to be on there?
Chuck, did you put the rollover request on this? No, there's 2 more requests. One is a rollover request for WCPR.
But one wasn't on there.
Yeah, one wasn't on there. That's the ASEM.
So am I supposed to handle this as if this was on these?
No, somebody's gotta bring it.
Someone's gotta bring it up then.
So, motion to consider the ASMP career workshop additional funding.
Second.
Alright, so because it's not on the agenda, we need to have 2/3 vote. So if we just do show of hands, all those in favor of entertaining the motion, please raise their hands. All those not in favor? Alright, so we're good to go. Enough. We're good. We got it. Alright, I'll bring it up. Then we'll go to discussion. Here it is. This is it, right? Yeah. Alright, we're good. So discussion on the budget. Do we have anything? Can everybody see everything they want to see? So we're in discussion unless someone wants to motion the previous question.
Move the previous question. Second.
All those in favor of moving the previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All those in favor of approving the ASEM career workshop budget request, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Since it passed. Owen?
Yeah, so WCPR has a rollover request. The way the cabinet was supposed to bring this to the Senate, there's no real document for me to upload or send you guys. But they're asking to roll over $1,075 for their Battle of the Bands event. As you guys know, they normally co-sponsor that with the TPA, and they're doing it in spring instead. So they just wanted to transfer the funds over. So someone wants to bring that up.
Matt?
Motion to do that.
Discussion on the rollover request. Matt?
I don't see why we wouldn't move through this question.
Second.
I'll count that as a motion. All those in favor of moving the previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All those in favor of allowing a budget rollover for WCPR, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes. So, we're still in new business. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add, vote on? Now we'll move to discussion. Do we have any discussion points? Chrissy?
I just have a kind of a general question. I see Carrick a lot on campus. What is his exact role within the?
Yes, I was actually just looking at that. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because like I was looking at the parliamentarian section of the bylaws and realizing that there is nothing in here right now that I see for attendance. But I'm gonna keep looking, and if there really isn't anything, then it's gonna be something that we're going to add.
I had spoken to him about it, and he said that he's like, well, there's nothing in the Constitution that says that I have to be there. It's like, oh, okay, well.
So,
Yeah, tell us what's.
yeah.
I mean, this is not like a million one thing,
Exactly.
so.
So, I'm, as speaker, I'm in charge of the oversight committee, and I'm unsure of how I'm supposed to handle this situation for the same reasons, because technically he's not a senator, so he doesn't have any Senate responsibilities to be here, so I can't bring him up as missing too many meetings and things like that. His position is appointed by the cabinet, just like the cabinet member seats are. So, Ashley and I have been discussing this. We're a little unsure how to formally handle his situation, how to formally handle his situation. So, we can continue on discussion on this point if you'd like.
Can we put something in the Constitution that
Yes.
says that?
Well, the bylaws.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we just send the bylaws.
So yes, that is a-
But I mean, if it's a majority consensus of the Senate that he would like to remove him and replace him, we could go forward that way, and then also as a secondary check for the next parliamentarian, vote to the bylaws something. Tyler.
I'd just also like to say that it does say that it's the responsibility of the parliamentarian to review any motion brought before the Senate prior to its discussion.
Yeah.
So by being absent, he's not reviewing every motion that's brought before the Senate.
That's a good point.
So we can hire him.
I guess that's pretty much what we're getting at.
I think before we do something that dramatic, we should tell him, you
Yeah.
know, we think that you should be at meetings because that's your job.
I mean,
Before we go ahead and say like, we're gonna remove you, we should have, if he's been spoken to, then never mind, I take that back. I mean, that's what.
He hasn't spoken to, we've had like 5 meetings since he's been
Okay, then.
parliamentary.
I remove that comment.
Is he supposed to go to your
Also, you should take it out of
more
your
meetings?
meetings.
He's supposed to go to those.
I don't even go to cabinet meetings.
You don't have to, you know.
You could if you wanted to.
I suck at CC.
I'll go.
That.
All we can are cabinet meetings.
Can we put something finite in the bylaws for next week?
Of course. Yeah, well, what kind of thing, like, okay, well, I guess it's kind of, can I open just, like, have a constitution and bylaws, like, discussion?
We're in discussion right now, so unless someone motions
So,
to
like-
close the meeting, you could keep talking about
Okay,
something.
because, what could happen is, like, we can have it be like the process that is used for senators. You know, with the whole oversight committee, like, since they're the ones that have the power of impeachment, and so using them because they're technically, they're only, the parliamentarian shall act as the chair of the oversight committee only in cases where the speaker is brought up for impeachment. So the parliamentarian can be, like, the one, can be impeached, I guess, by the oversight committee. So we can include that and have it, like, that way, or we can have it, as, like, with the Senate as well. Like, the Senate being the ones to, like, kind of vote. Or there are other options too, with, like, the cabinet can decide to vote them out, or, so.
Discussion, Kristen.
I think, kinda like it being left up to the Senate and or cabinet, so maybe like we could have everyone vote.
Well, I mean, we could do a similar thing with the whole impeachment process for a cabinet member or the speaker.
That sounds
It's
good.
the same idea, we go to motion for the impeachment and the right voting counts and
Yeah,
stuff.
let's
and so on.
just try to stick to something that already exists, so it's easier to write up.
So would the oversight committee, the Senate end up voting on it? Is that what you're saying?
No, but well, yeah, I think the the oversight committee makes a decision on, the Senate then is to vote approve. So,
Isn't it anywhere possible to make a parliamentarian have to be a senator?
well, that would be a bylaw, you'd have to suggest.
I'm just saying because then we have to.
Because he does have the power to,
Make sense for people and make sure everybody's in line.
Can he vote?
No, you can't, unless he's Senate.
Well, that's what I'm asking, because then we don't even have to do the whole attendance thing, because it's already.
I'm gonna see time to, mark this.
The intention of parliamentarians is not to go Senate or cabinet because they get to review all the motions and they speak first on the constitutionality of the motion before everyone votes on it.
Okay.
So it's partially already the job of the senator to look that up. It's basically like there's a check, kind of like.
He needs to be biased.
Who's not on the cabinet, who's not on the cabinet.
So I like the idea of throwing him kind of in the same oversight committee, or under the oversight committee.
So I think kind of where we're at right now is we're gonna give him, attendance requirements similar to a senator, which means he has to attend a certain number of meetings, and once he has a certain number of absences, his, standing as parliamentarian will be reviewed by the oversight committee. But as a secondary precaution, he will be, it will be possible to motion to impeach him, similar to a cabinet or member or a speaker. So those will be the two kind of what we'll move forward, I guess.
Sounds good.
So that will have to come as a motion, in another meeting. We'll have some drafted up for change at a later date. Is that all right? Any more discussion on this item? Not.
Oh, no, not in this discussion.
I mean, we don't have the motion to close this, I just wanna make sure that we got everything out of the way, and we're gonna talk about this right now.
So,
Alright.
so Devon and I kinda spoke to each other a little bit about when we're voting for people, should we turn the cameras off? Because isn't that stuff supposed to be like private or not private? I don't know.
What, the discussion points?
No, like discussions when we're voting on people.
That's,
Especially cause like you could just
'Cause
go
you
back
can put it
and
on YouTube.
review
It
it,
is gonna be
like say, what did people say about me on YouTube?
Yeah, but like, aren't we
well,
writing the
just get away
ballots,
from
so is
Anna,
it-
don't speak out turn. It's alright, Anna?
Aren't we writing the ballots anonymously, so?
Yeah.
No.
Matt?
We don't always put that,
Danielle?
No, but I think the point Kristen and Devon are making is that he can go on YouTube now and look up what people said about him during discussion, which is the whole point of him leaving the room during discussion, is that people don't know. It's gonna be very embarrassing for Andrew, that's what we're saying.
Matt? Cal?
Can you just edit the raw footage to cut out that part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just make that mandatory.
This
And then
Open
just keep
discussion
cutting.
still, any more things to discussion? Devon?
Is there any resolution to that issue we had at WCPR?
We'll give it time to Owen.
So we're gonna have to do is, we talked to Dina, pretty much said we have to pay for it. There wasn't like, oh, you guys can approve this, so the student life is basically taken out of the CIF. It's just been a recurring issue for WCPR, so they went ahead, Dean went ahead and did it. Like someone was, the way he described it, someone was doing something in his house and he said, hey, go fix this, and Jacobus, and charged him.
Sounds like, okay, we're on camera.
Oh.
Sean? Sean, this item?
No, this thing, so we were able to clear up whether or not it's a utility plumbing in the building or WCPR's wiring.
They did something, yeah.
Yeah, it was, it sounded like it was a utility, like a plumbing problem, or like a problem with the pipes, yeah.
Danielle?
just cause, I don't know, to clarify, because I wasn't at the summer meetings or anything, do we have an oversight committee? Like, do we have people that are on it currently right now? Cause I know, like, we did have people last speaker session, or, I'm just curious.
Excuse me?
Chairman of the oversight committee.
Chairman of the oversight committee. No, we haven't selected the oversight committee members yet, only because we haven't had a reason to review anybody. So,
Okay.
now that it's apparent that we do need to have one, speaker, parliamentarian issue, we'll have to
Make
figure
sure
it
it's in the minutes.
So we're not, we're on the oversight committee, we
There's
were
no
last year.
We're on last year. Yeah, it would be the same, but you have to have proper representation for all the classes. So, yeah, so some of them might be open.
Yeah, like Katie was our year.
Exactly, so there are holes that need to be filled, we just haven't taken care of that yet.
what is the proper, like, what's the distribution?
One per year.
It's,
One
yeah,
per year.
it's one per class.
bring something up really quick. I'm putting together like a little one pager for all the clubs as a reference. So any of you board leaders or anyone that has input on what would be helpful from a Senate perspective as to what to budget for and how to budget, shoot me an email because they already have the guidelines and all that kind of stuff. But they need stuff like, oh, like why does pizza always get cut or like stuff like that. So if there's any like little suggestions you have for clubs, send it my way and I'll give it to them.
Danielle?
Okay, so the oversight committee, it says that the president has to appoint them and the Senate has to approve them. And it's for a term coinciding with the session of the Senate, so I'm sure if you guys talk to Ashley and said you guys want to do it again, you know, it would be that, but she's the one to appoint them, so not,
Yeah, we're taking our time on it only because we had so many empty Senate seats.
yeah.
So we were just trying to make sure that we had enough to choose from, especially for like the senior seat, because before we filled in the holes, it was just Bob and I really, you know, and I can't do it, so. Yeah, so we were just waiting to get better representation first.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but myself and Ashley has to appoint them, and they approved, so we were just waiting for that. Now we have discussion still. Sean?
Last semester when we got to the budgeting part, one of the things we talked about for a little bit was coming up, or talking to physical planning, coming up with a pricing list so RSOs know what to budget for physical plan instead of just taking a shot in the dark and hoping that it's right. Has that made any progress in that?
Yeah, so actually, that's one of the things, I work in student life as well, that's one of the things we started working on. The problem is, depending on like the day of the week, the time of the day, there's just so many different specifics, like, oh, like it's the Tuesday after Memorial Day, so we charge this much extra. I mean, like obviously not that stupid, but there's so many variables that's kind of hard to put together, something like that. What I am gonna try to do is give at least a rough estimate, but because they're all like union workers, some people like you gotta pay for physical plans, so it gets kind of complicated.
Even just like something to give, because the budgets are going to be coming up in 6 weeks, 2 months.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Like something just give to the RSO saying, if you want to budget a physical plant, this is what the SGA recommends to make, you know.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the goal, to have these out by the summit, so that all these people have these guidelines and all this information before they submit their budgets. So it'll make the process easier for us.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, we plan on doing it even after some good meetings.
Yeah, at the event as well.
So, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting unless there's still discussion points. All in favor